Welcome to Rail Talk.
Welcome to Rail Talk.
Hello and welcome to Rail Talk. I am Nolan, this is Tori, and this is Corey, and we're here to run you through this evening's races. Tonight's segments will be Rider of the Year, the nightly race recap with the podiums, special segment of Beyond the Podium, and our predictions for next week. Corey, what'd you see out there?
Another great week. I think the theme of this season continues to be really strong. Really strong.
Strong what? How?
Kids, juniors.
They won't stop.
They just keep growing faster and stronger every single week.
Speaking of children, I got one sitting next to me.
Honorary junior, as we said earlier.
Honorary junior. I got to be honest, Tori, you've been absolutely crushing it so far this year. I'm stoked to see you out again. Are you in the Rider of the Year contention?
I think I was on the podium for it. I don't know. I've missed a couple nights, so Annette not being here is probably helpful for that tonight.
Going into tonight, I think the top three would have been Annette Williams, yourself, and Danny Scoville. Does that sound about right?
That sounds correct.
And who is it now?
I totally forgot.
Okay, I think I got this one. I think I remember. It is still Danny Scoville at the top. And then we also have yourself and Rue Tomko joining the top three in Annette's absence. So a pretty strong field. Once again, we've talked a little bit about this, but there's a collection of riders in the women's field that continue to impress, continue to be at the front of the field. These are all names you should know by now. But Tori, you've snuck into the top three. Same with Rue.
Yeah, I was
sweet.
really impressed with Rue's racing tonight, actually. They got me at the line on that last sprint, which was very impressive.
Was that in the Kieran or the points?
I was in the points race on the
Points race,
last
that's good,
sprint. I didn't know they were there, but I don't think that would have helped.
Let's back up a little bit because the women's Kieran happened first.
Yes.
There was how many folks out in the women's field tonight?
I think we had 2 heats.
Yeah,
Two heats. So then
11
a minor,
competitors.
then a minor and a major final. And so in the major, it was yourself and Rue, Danny Scoville. Who else would have been in there?
Jasmine was there.
And so how did the final lap shake down? Because you were there at the line, right?
Yes, I was there at the line. I was in the back. Danny was in the front. My plan was to try to be passing Danny right when the Derny pulled off. I don't think I timed it quite right, but I was pretty satisfied with my strategy.
What did you see from the podium?
It was. I gave a lot of credit to Danny for covering the attack. I mean, the timing. It's tough to pull off that timing from the back. I even called it when we were in about a lap and a half to go. I said, man, Tori is one to watch in this race, but what a tough position to be in. Expect this race to flatten out. Tori's going to come up. You did it about as textbook as I would have expected, but coming into turn 3, Danny jumped up, had the line. It was pretty much set up at that point, and that was a tough one to call off the line.
Very strong racing from both yourself and Danny Scoville and the rest of the field. Obviously, Kieran's are no joke out here. I think the fields, probably men's and women's field this year, have gotten stronger and faster. And everyone's pulling out all the stops in the tech game, buying all the fast bars and all the fast wheels and everything. So it's really fun from a spectator's perspective. It's good stuff. So the points racing, the final race of the night, we just had two. We'll get to the third one later, but the points race. Really, I feel like it was on and off a lot. How did you play that one out for yourself?
That was a really fun race. I thought there was, I think, definitely I was trying to employ more strategy than I typically do, and I think I was just looking for Rue's field to be on. To be honest, I was pretty tired.
That's true. For those of you not watching along at home or maybe not having known this, Tori jumped into the men's Cat 3 field just prior to the women's Open 1, 2, 3 race. So kudos to you. You got in the extra miles tonight. Yes. That's pretty sweet. Tomorrow, sleeping in.
Tomorrow's Father's Day observed, so definitely not.
All right.
Fantastic. So how did that end up? What were the results, I guess, of the points race in the women's field?
I actually don't know what the results were.
sort of staying in theme, again, Rider of the Year, staying very strong in the camp of the young riders. Scoville rode a really good race. And,
I thought she was supposed to be a sprinter.
right? And
Is she not?
You know, I've seen Scoville have so many incredible finishes on sort of these intermediate or shorter races.
Yeah.
And this year I'm seeing her kind of grow up into being a bit more well-rounded, right? We've seen, even in some of these longer races, she just has that grit and that persistence to push through, and I'm seeing some good growth from her. So yeah, tonight she was all over it. She was in a position where, coming into the final sprint, as long as she was in that sprint, nobody could stop her. It was a really good position to be in. So yeah, she was dominant tonight, and just showing how much growth she's had in the last year. Impressive.
So I'm going to take a guess and say the night's podiums for the women, Danny on top step,
Yep.
followed by a certain Victoria Park,
Yep, this one right over here.
and then in third on.
Another really impressive junior, Rue Tomko. This kid,
Love to see it. They're amazing.
they are amazing. And what I love about them is almost nothing in terms of results last year. Just 1 year ago, in the field, you know, contesting here and there, and then just 1 year later, making big moves, taking risks, being off the front of the field. They're in a really good position, and I love watching them race because I see them taking really good chances, and it's paying off. So seeing really good improvement. I even say every time I'm on the mic, I talk about them. It's like, this is a great start to the season, and just continue to prove why I say that.
We're a couple weeks into it now. I'm going to say it's maybe no longer, after tonight, no longer the start of the season.
No
I think
longer
we're
surprise.
getting into the
Agreed.
meat.
It's
We're
really
into
real.
the stew and the
It's getting real.
potatoes
Yeah, that's right.
of the
That's right.
season,
Yeah.
which I'm excited about. I'm a big
Absolutely.
fan of savory foods.
Yep.
All right,
Delicious.
let's move on a bit. Let's talk about the men's fields tonight. Kieran's first. There were about 20, 25 riders in the men's field, so we had some heats, and then it went to a major and minor, no, semis,
Semis
major,
first,
minor.
yeah,
Woo! There's some spicy folks out there in the men's field.
Yeah.
I watched them all go up the road, and it was fun to see how fast they were.
Yeah, join the spectator crowd tonight.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. It was fast tonight. Right from the get-go. I mean, the qualifying rounds were really contended, pretty right ahead, and the semis were really interesting. I mean, there was some early favorites that we could pick.
Yep.
I mean, you know, whenever Siegel lines up for a Kieran, you're like, okay, you know, he's gonna have some results tonight. We expect that.
That Wyatt Paul guy.
Woo! But I wasn't expecting that kind of result. Like, Wyatt is strong.
Yeah.
And then it was even another step up for me this week, you know, and maybe I didn't tune in for a week. Here or there.
He told me before the racing started he had an extra bowl of his Wheaties, and he was he's feeling like he had a little extra tonight.
He really did.
And I would say, in dominant fashion, he crushed the field, not only in the semis but the final. Quite frankly, I don't see somebody beating him unless he gets boxed in from here on out. There would have to be some tactical and fitness gains from some other folks. But this kid, is he a kid? I don't know, kid-ish.
Yeah.
He's on a fantastic trajectory.
A rail talk hot take, which if you watch the racing tonight and you watch the Marymore Mile where we had a new record of a 1:46 set by Wyatt Paul, and then he went and just straight up smoked the Kieran field. He's been really training for the kilo, and I think you will see him on the national kilo podium. And I think he's got a real good shot at the Stars and Stripes. I think he might be bringing home a jersey. He'll also be racing Kieran. You know, that's a really random race. I think if he's willing to race aggressively like that too, like, you're going to see big things out of this kid in LA in about 3 weeks. So stay tuned.
Tori, did you watch the men's points race much?
I watched the second half of it. I was still hypoxic, I think, for the first half of it.
Second half. Okay. How did it look?
It looked like it was kind of surgy. You know, I was thinking that the field was going to split a couple of times. It never stuck. I think that there were, you know, some like lots of different folks in there. I think they were pretty determined to not let it split up.
I think there was one rider in particular who didn't let anybody go up the road, and that would be a certain Merritt Gallagher. Did you see that from up top?
There were a few times where I noted this rider is not really in contention tonight, that they're going to let that ride a little bit, but eventually, almost without fail, Gallagher would be near the front enough to kind of force the action to close it back down again. So
Yeah.
yeah, in general.
I benefited from that at times, and it was great to be in the draft. But man, he's strong.
Yeah, he is.
Man, he's strong. And I think, I don't know what his points total was, but he definitely crushed tonight.
31.
Woo!
Wow.
It was a dominant showing.
Yeah.
He sat out a little bit in the middle, kind of, did a little bit of work to catch some of those breaks, but
Yep.
Again, kind of where he needed to be, exactly when he needed to be there, enough that in the last lap he could have almost not participated. And he didn't. He still did. He jumped back up and picked up, 6 points in the last sprint. He never sat out. He could have.
I love that for him.
Yeah, right.
I love that for him.
Yeah, totally.
So nightly podiums in the men's field. I'm going to go Merrick on the top step,
Yep.
followed by, would it be Andrew?
Wyatt Paul.
Oh, Wyatt Paul, that is correct, with the dominant Kieran showing. And
Yep.
then, did he pick up any points in the points race?
He had a good showing in the points race. Tyson Danielson had a really good points race, by the way.
He
too.
went up the road for quite a
Yeah,
while,
he did,
and then
yeah,
he
he
also pipped a couple points in some of those middle sprints, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah, he was all over it. But overall, White Paul with the Kieran finish got him up on the podium. And then third, Andrew Martin with a really great points race. He came in for a third or second place finish, I believe, with a really great last sprint, actually. So.
Andrew Martin, year after year, brings the heat.
He's a tenacious rider. He's
He
like
is.
he's like, I feel like he doesn't chatter. He's not like loud, and he kind of rides that way too. He's just kind of in it, and all of a sudden he'll just go, and he makes really smart moves.
He loves to work hard, is what I can gather.
Yeah,
And,
totally.
Oh man, it's tough. It's tough to be behind him, but yeah, it was overall a great night in both fields. Some really strong performances across the board, and special segment of Beyond the Podium. We've got a doozy for you. The third race of the evening was actually the Marymore Mile. I'm not sure I've ever actually participated. I think I've only seen it out here twice, but I don't pay attention every night. I got to be honest. It could be an every year thing, but talk us through what happened out there tonight.
Yeah, I love that race.
What is the point of it actually?
It's a 4-lap scratch, but the reason we do it here is it's a recorded record, right? We have a record book. It's fun to chase records, right? We love chasing records. And it's fun for the spectators. We had a great audience tonight, by the way, too. Like, it was really interactive and really exciting for this to happen tonight. Spoiler alert, it was exciting. That's because it felt to me like when that race started, it felt to me like they knew that they had a chance. Like, it was a strong group tonight.
Yeah.
I heard some chatter about leading some folks out.
Yeah.
And it kind of looked like that, but it was.
Well, there was James Campbell Harris pulled his wheel, so I think that was definitely impacted how it went. Because I think there definitely could have been a much stronger lead-out contention, because I think not only would he have been a great person to be on that front for a lap or half a lap, but I think that there were several folks behind him that were unable to get on because of that. We had some really speedy folks up front.
Yeah, that did cause sort of an initial snap, right? Where you had that front group that kind of got away, and so there's a few less horses in the race, so to speak, to kind of pull through and make that happen. But yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. But who was in there? I mean, the first couple laps were still speedy enough, and then it really was. And then after I think it was Stan Douglas kind of had, I think maybe at one lap completed, pull out of the way. And that was kind of like waterline racing. That just kind of took over at the front.
It looked like a
Tyson
team
next.
time trial with
Merrick on the back.
Right.
Yeah, with Merrick just tagging along.
Yeah, enjoying the ride, and then whoops, I guess there goes Wyatt.
Yeah, Wyatt lit the afterburners, gapped Siegel with Merrick behind him, and it was. Did he do a full lap and a quarter by himself?
Lap and a half almost.
Yeah.
And what was the results of that? I don't remember.
They knocked off, it was a 1:46.50 something, so it was an improvement of about 6 seconds.
They took the record.
Oh yeah, big time.
Do they get their names in a book?
Wyatt does.
Wyatt, just one of them.
Just one
even
of them.
though all of them worked.
It's a team effort, but Wyatt gets the record. I know.
All right. Well, that's exciting. He
It
had
is exciting. It
He
was
had a
fun.
big night.
He did. After that, going on to win the Kieran. I mean, it was a top speed night for him.
Hold
really,
on.
really exciting.
I've got a problem right now. This segment is supposed to be called Beyond the Podium. That kid was on the podium.
Whoops.
Oh wait, hold on. The race is beyond the podium.
That's true. Yeah.
The
There's no
winner.
podium.
The race was not podium impacting.
Yeah.
No, that was a fun. I'd call it a novelty, but it is a record, so that's kind of a cool thing. But will we do another one this year, or is it a once a year kind of scenario?
It's pretty uncommon that we end up doing them. I haven't looked far enough in the racebook to see them, but it's usually a once a year thing. So if we do it again, that'd be pretty fun. I mean, it can always come up. But today was kind of an updated change schedule because of our recent cancellations. So
That is true.
it was like a fun opportunity to throw it in there and see what happens. And delivery,
Here we go.
record break.
Let's talk about next week. I believe it is a special night. What do we got going on?
We got Peter Snowblin's night.
Peter, what did he do for us? What did he concoct?
It sounds like we've got some distances. A lot of them are 40.
40 lappers?
40 lappers.
Whew. Okay. I'm gonna have to put a snack under my saddle or something.
Like a feed bag on the front.
Yeah. Well, are we turning track into gravel?
Yeah.
Gravel
or like
vibes?
triathlon, you have the little thing that go between your bars and like a little straw.
I don't know if that's legal.
Yeah.
We can test the theory though. I'll let you test the theory actually.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So next week we got some novelty-ish racing. Well, it's maybe not novelty races themselves, but a fun group of races, all concocted by Peter Snowblin, one of our Cat 3 riders out here. And if you two at home would like to craft a race night, come to the auction next year and bid on it, and you can make the riders do horrible, horrible things. Or exciting things, or whatever you want, because you shelled out some money for it. So,
still our most watched live event of all time was last year's from Matty Hers. More viewers watched.
Was it the milk race?
Oh yeah,
the milk race.
It's still a fan favorite.
Oh my!
Yeah. So creativity wins out the day.
You know, I love milk. I love chocolate milk the most.
Nolan, I have to stop you there. I have some milk that's actually going to expire at midnight, so like I gotta go. I gotta get home.
Bye, Tori.
Bye.
Well, I guess with that, we are wrapping up tonight. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Rail Talk.